and start recording. But we'll give everyone a few minutes to hop on. I know people are busy with the end of the year. It has been a day. It's been nice though. So let's see. We've got Rick from Utah, Janet from Illinois. Here's Brian. Hey, Brian. Oh, audio still booting up. And Jeff. Okay, awesome. Probably gonna give it to like 304, 305. Just make sure that anyone who joins has an opportunity to participate. Great. Oh, that's a mobile number. Okay, cool. Hello, Abby.
Hello.
How is your year-end punch list going?
I guess things are going okay. We got a boatload of rain yesterday, the day before though, so that's made the LiDAR world a little bit more interesting.
Absolutely. You have any acquisitions planned that you had to reschedule?
Yeah, we're working on bathymetric collections right now, and obviously with a lot of rain, that's not possible.
Yesterday was the first day we've had sunshine here in like a week, and it was really great. It was all right. We got Scotty from Pennsylvania.
And if Jordan, if you wanted to get started, I will keep monitoring the
Great.
room.
All right, perfect. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. I know it's a busy end of the year, wrapping things up before the holidays. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Oh, that was a direct message. Awkward. So this meeting should be pretty short, but I wanted to make some time before the end of the year to make introductions, align NSGIC's efforts for 3D EP for the nation to most effectively support state acquisition and meet USGS objectives. So today's meeting, I'm going to go ahead and start presenting. We're just going to run through a quick intros, give everyone a chance to know each other if you don't already. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Great. All right, great. And then we'll get an update from USGS. Brian is on the line, Brian Hadley. And then we'll go over the project year objective surveys. If you haven't had a chance to fill that out yet, I can drop a link in the meeting notes and then also send one out when I send out a recap email. It's super helpful to helping us understand what are your priorities to align our efforts to most effectively support you. And then we'll take a look at the project plan draft that we have for this year. We'll be finalizing that next week. So I want to make sure that the states have input on there and that we're addressing your priorities. And then I'd love to get some ideas for any interest groups or webinar topics that are top of mind for you, and maybe even solicit some volunteers to lead any of those in 2024. So I'd love to go around the room and make some introductions. I'll start, but then I'd like to go states with the most land area. It's kind of a random way to go about it. So if you think you're in a big state, I think eventually we'll just get through everyone. But I'm Jordan Regine. I'm the NSGIC 3 DEP for the Nation program manager. I started in October, and I'm really excited to be on the team to help align state LiDAR and 3DEP acquisitions with USGS initiatives. I reside in Florida. I'm the program manager. I'm super excited. My son was born yesterday, so I'm super excited about that. So that doesn't necessarily have to be work related, I suppose, because that's top of mind for me. Biggest challenge for 23-24 project year on our end. There are a lot of changes coming up, and we want to make sure that we can most effectively support the continuing collection and then recollect. And so I think NSGIC's role there will be really helping states make that case to legislatures and folks who are funding to why do we need to recollect? We just got all of this LiDAR. What's the point of doing it again? So I think that'll be a challenge, but I'm excited to be on this journey with you guys. And let's see. Does anyone want to volunteer to go next? I think we do have California on the line.
Yep, I was wondering if I was the biggest state in land area, at least, certainly in population, if you want to measure it that way here. So I'm Nate Roth with the California Department of Conservation, and I have been ringleading the state's connection to 3DEP and the goal to achieve complete coverage of the state for several years now. Most excited about, we are going to be receiving in the next little bit. Let's leave that exactly what that means a little undefined. But LiDAR collections that cover the vast majority of our forested landscapes for the state that are going to be high enough quality to build some pretty robust forest and vegetation metrics in addition to the standard products that we all think about. And completing the state is starting to be visible on the horizon, and it's exciting. And the biggest challenge for the next project year is really going to be getting the data and derived products into people's hands and into use.
Awesome. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate it. Let's see. Would anyone like to volunteer to go next? I know we've got Minnesota and Pennsylvania, Washington as well. Those are all pretty close. I haven't done the calculations in terms of area, though. I suppose I should have had that list ready.
Sure, Jordan. I'm Arizona. I think that counts in pretty large.
Absolutely.
And I'll volunteer. I think I know most of the folks on the call, but I am Jenna Levier. I'm the Deputy State Cartographer for Arizona. Congratulations, Jordan. That's very exciting.
Thank you.
And it's I wonder why you're here, because I think I would want to be staring at him. So kudos to you that you made it to the meeting. That's great. So as far as I'm going to echo some of what Nate shared. As far as my biggest challenge, well, excitement for 23-24, Arizona is almost completely covered. We're very, very close, thanks to Brian. And that's exciting. I think, it'll be a little while before we get all the data, but it's an exciting time for Arizona for sure. Same challenge as far as getting the data and derivative products into people's hands and helping them to understand what the resource is and the tools available. I think that's what the next year is really all about for us. We're not to this stage of recollect yet. I think everybody's still trying to swallow the first collection. So we'll start the education on why we need more. So thanks.
Thank you, Jenna. Much appreciated. All right. Looks like Patrick.
I'll go. Yeah, I don't have much. Patrick Wilkie Brown, State of Iowa, geospatial coordinator. And we finished up our collect and delivery over the last couple of years. And I think we finally got everything delivered last spring, I believe, and have services online through one of the universities, Iowa State University, and their GIS facility. And our most excited about the 23-24 and actually starting probably in January or February is our elevation group will be talking about our next acquisition plan so that we're a little bit more ready than we were last time. We've got a lot of interest from local governments, possibly about buy-ups and that sort of thing. And I think since the 3DEP program, we were one of the first states, I think, to get in on that program a couple of years ago, and we've learned a little bit, and the program has learned a little bit, and so we were hopefully able to capitalize on some of the relationships we local relationships that we've built, and that's probably going to be our biggest challenge too, is trying to look ahead, 3, 4, 5. Or as the trend in Iowa is 6 or 7, 8 years, hopefully not that long, but that's what we're going for.
Awesome. Thank you, Patrick.
Hi, I can go. My name is Scotty Wall. I am the state JS coordinator for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Hey everyone, and congratulations, Jordan. Yeah, that's huge. I had my daughter a little over a month ago, so super exciting.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, so we are really excited in 23 to 24 because although Pennsylvania does have Q2 LiDAR for the entire state and a bunch of other products and imagery statewide, we are looking to start collections in the southeast, I believe, for Q1, which is really exciting. We're getting our quality up in this coming year. I think our biggest challenge from my perspective is securing sustained funding for the product's delivery to be very regular and on time, because right now it takes a long time for QA/QC of data, and so there's a lag time from acquisition to delivery. And so I'm looking to create a program for the state so that delivery time shrinks a bit for folks. Yeah. Great, thanks.
Thank you, Scotty.
Hi, Jordan. This is Jeff. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. If you don't mind, I could go next.
Great.
Okay.
Please do.
My name's Jeff Jella from New York State Geospatial Services. I've been the elevation program lead for, 6 or 7 years going now. I think we just submitted our 9th proposal to collect 3D data within New York State as a partner with USGS. So we do the collection the planning, the QA/QC, and USGS partially funds our program. As far as what we're excited for 23-24, New York State is 99% complete. There's a small area in Fort Drum that is has not been it's collected on an existing USGS project that's in QC right now, but we do have several areas of reflight, and the one we just did a proposal for was to collect Nassau and Suffolk County on Long Island, which was last done in 2014. Our biggest challenge, I think, will be since we collect our own data, we have to put out a new RFP. We're on our last year, and is to have that balance of what we put in our RFP to make sure that we're going to hit next gen 3-depth. You know, what are those specs going to be? And we want to make sure that we have those ready for when we do go out for RFP.
Great, thank you,
And
Jeff.
congratulations. My son, my second of 3 sons' birthday today. He's just turned 11. I would agree with others. I don't think you should be working today, but congrats.
I felt really weird missing the first meeting. That was like one of my core responsibilities. But it's only an hour and a half. I think we'll be all right. We got the mother-in-law in town, so she's
Yes, that way you have it.
good work. Thank you, Jeff.
Welcome.
All right. Anybody?
I'll go ahead. Hey, Jordan.
Oh, Dennis. Hi, Dennis.
Dennis Peterson, State GS Coordinator from Tennessee. We completed our QL2 statewide collection 2 years ago, and we dabbled with some QL1 collection. We partnered with Davidson County, and we did a QL1 collect last year. And we're going to be planning on doing more targeted collections for QL1 moving forward. We don't have any plans this cycle, but we're trying to lay the foundation and trying to identify partners at either the state or local level for a 3-depth submission in fall of next year.
Great. And you have a challenge, a big challenge, Dennis?
I think one of the challenges, it may not be the challenge, but a challenge is, you know, trying to convince folks that just funded the QL2, the use case or why they should participate and fund a QL1 collection. And what does that, you know, enhanced point cloud gain you in terms of functionality and usability, if you will.
Great.
This is
I'll go
Rick. I
next.
can chime in.
Oh, go ahead, Rick.
Sorry, Janet.
That's okay.
So I'm Rick Kelson from the Utah Geospatial Resource Center, UGRC, formerly known as AGRC. And for the last 7-8 years, I've been running cooperative agreements through the 3-depth program and managing the acquisition of the LiDAR in Utah. Last couple projects have been picked up by FEMA and the USGS and run through the GIPSI contracting mechanism. And we are one project away from completing the statewide baseline for Utah. And so that should be just a couple months, and we will have statewide LiDAR minus some DoD land we couldn't get access to. We're also currently doing a project solely funded by the state Utah Department of Emergency Management to refly the Salt Lake Valley that was originally our first USGS QL project of the Salt Lake Valley here in Utah. So That's going to be our first recollect. And we really don't have any plans set for recollection of the rest of the state. So my biggest challenges are getting that data finally out of quality assurance for the last project and finalizing this new Salt Lake Valley project.
Right on. Great work, Rick. Thank you.
I'll go next. I'm Janet Camarca with Illinois. I'm a LiDAR data manager for Illinois. And so we have our entire state has been collected once. We're working on collecting it again. Next fiscal year, we're going to collect 10 more counties, and that will bring our whole state up to QL2 or better. And so that's very exciting. We partner with NRCS and USGS. We're a little bit unique in that we'll QA/QC the data alongside USGS. So we're able to kind of help with that workload with our staff. And we're very excited. We also this year have developed a program with our sister survey, the water survey for Illinois State. And we are working on delineating stream data derived from the LiDAR data. So we're very excited about that. We've got a workflow figured out. We're getting students and we're getting that project going. So our challenge for next year, I would say, is, well, we're already talking about how to make that data available through our clearinghouse, the streams data. We're already providing the LiDAR to the public. So we're very excited about it. Yeah, we've got the next 5 years sort of planned out with reacquiring the state. And we're looking, it's starting to become QL1 data. So I guess I should say that's one of my biggest challenges as being the data manager is finding space for all of this huge amount of data. But it's all good news. So that's for Illinois. That's how we are.
Great. Thank you, Janet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and congratulations also on the new baby. I'm very impressed that you're here and also very impressed that it's quiet where you are.
Yeah, it has not been that way all day.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we only have a few left. I think.
Hi, I'm happy to go. Sorry, Sean. My name's Jennifer Corcoran, and I'm from Minnesota DNR. I represent a committee called the 3D Geomatics Committee today. Normally, there's Allison Slatz is here, and she's our state GIO and rep on this team. She couldn't make it today. Sometimes we also have a pinch hitter other than me, Sean Vaughn. And incidentally, we both work for DNR. We are tardy in filling out our survey. So that is something we're actively working on right now. So we'll be submitting that soon enough. I think the good news to share is that our state is on its way to being fully covered in the 3DEP compliant LiDAR. Most of it is quality level 1 or will be quality level 1, with the exception of one county that is at QL2 and a couple that have opted for even higher resolution, nearing toward QL0 LiDAR or 30 points per square meter minimum. So we do have that storage and data backend challenge here, just like everyone else, that we're actively, we as in MinGeo and Allison's team, are actively working on with a contract project with Esri. So that's sort of a multiple phase project, starting with this back end. Another thing that kind of eats our lunch right now is processing and figuring out the derived products workflows. There really wasn't funding to dedicate to the production of those, but folks are creating derived products nonetheless. And so we're working on some standardization, kind of naming and methods, metadata and standards. But also with that back end data storage agreement, there's also some investigation in cloud-based processing that I'm personally very excited about, because I know one of the things that we're waiting on is just simply mosaicing some of these derived products, and our processing machine is busy making products, and so we have to wait to actually stitch them together. And so it's like, how hard could it really be to mosaic something? But there's a train of product creation to do, so it'd be nice to be able to use the cloud or to kind of crack the nut, when it comes down to some of the data that's on AWS. So that's maybe more of a personal bent in terms of the Minnesota perspective. A challenge that we're working through is to keep the team relevant and moving forward. And 3D-HP is starting to bifurcate some of our energy into some of the planning efforts that were normally housed underneath this sort of acquisition side of things. Now we're talking about what to do with it and where can we go with 3D-HP. So happy to be here and playing a role, and I'm taking notes for Allison and others. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Jennifer.
You want me to go next for Indiana? So
please.
Sean Scholler, GIS program director here in the GIO office under Megan Compton. And let's see, I guess, what are we excited about in Indiana? Yeah, I manage the imagery and elevation programs. So we are starting up in preparation for 2025, another round of collections, this time QO1. We've had 2 previous statewide collections. So this is, we had QO3, QO2, and now going all the way to the standard, 8 points. Also looking so the really exciting thing for me is that I came from local government. This is going to be an opportunity with the RFP to have it in advance to work with local government and in coordinating efforts to perhaps purchase higher resolution. So QO1 plus. But and then the other is that we have the interest by submitting the proposal with the USGS and NRCS. So looking to share some of the cost with our federal agencies, and really appreciative of the repository of having the LiDAR in the USGS Amazon bucket, so for consumption. So it's not all on us. And then that kind of leads me to our pain point in Indiana is that we do have 2 previous collections, and both of those are they're stored in various locations. We don't have a single repository for everything. So we're looking at trying to bring all that in under a single roof. So not necessarily in-house, but taking advantage and leveraging partners. So that's pretty much it, I guess. And then obviously, there's the additional products, right? Of what are we going to do with the LiDAR, and we want to make sure that our users understand there's much more to be gained than a contour or Z value from the classification that we can take advantage of from the point cloud and things like that. So
Great. Thank you, Sean.
Yep.
Okay, this is Abby from Washington. I don't know if I'm the next biggest state or not, but anyway, hi, I'm Abby Gleason from Washington. I work at the Washington Department of Natural Resources within our Washington Geological Survey. I'm the LiDAR manager there, and I've been in my role for, I think, 8 years now. So what we're most excited about is we are closing in on statewide QL1 coverage. We are a QL1 state and have been for quite a while. I think that's why it has taken us a little bit longer to get there, because we've been pretty insistent on that from the start. But we're closing in on that, so we're very excited. And we're also closing in on 3DEP compliance, so that's also really great news. We have lots of LiDAR collections before 3DEP was around, so that's one of our challenges, is always managing our acquisitions, our historical acquisitions. So we're also really excited about starting refresh. We have a plan for refreshing the state or reacquiring the state with LiDAR data. We've started putting that out to our partners and talking about it in our meetings with our state priorities and whatnot, to get the interest and the education out there about why we need to recollect, and the importance and value in it. And this year we are actually starting that. We're moving towards that refresh plan already, and trying to get that train going. One of our big challenges, I think, that we have coming up is acquiring stable funding for that reacquisition plan. So we've been working on it for a couple of years now through our state legislature, and we've gotten partially funded, or funded for a year or 2 years each time that we ask for stable funding, but we're trying to get ongoing funding. And so that's one of the challenges we keep after, and we are doing that once again this year. So along with that, we have an in-house LiDAR contract that we've had for a couple of years, and we have acquired actually some of our biggest LiDAR acquisitions to date have been through that contract, and that contract requires USGS-based LiDAR specification. So we're trying to have another means to collect and collaborate with the USGS and the 3DEP program through that contract. And so we're also working to make sure our QA/QC group that we have in-house is doing the QA and QC to USGS spec, and that we can work with the 3DEP program along those lines as well. So those are some things that we're working on. Another challenge for us constantly is distributing the data and making sure we're getting it out there, making sure the derivatives are out there, and making sure that it's discoverable. We've been working on a migration of our LiDAR servers in the past few years, and are really trying to get some new services online. So that's up and coming for us as well.
Cool, thank you, Abby. And I think that rounds out the state reps. Brian and Michelle, do you want to do some brief intros? And I hope I didn't miss anyone on the state team.
Didn't see anybody. If they did, please feel free to speak up. Yeah, I think I know most of you. It's nice to hear everybody's voice after we'd had a little bit of break from this. So the new agreement got up and running, and so Jordan, congrats on the baby, and certainly excited to be working with you. And yeah, I just coming in on my second year as the acquisition lead for the 3DEP program, and we're excited about where we're going. It's a lot of you are saying that you're close to having your states done. I think that's really exciting. The next gen program is in the process of being rolled out, and we're kind of in a transitionary period as we try to wrap up the baseline. We've got about 94% of the country mapped, and so we're going to try to get us across the finish line here in the next 2 years and see if we can't get close to 100%. But really excited to hear that there's a lot of folks that are interested in recollections and that narrative and getting that stuff going. It's for all of us to be successful. It's going to rely on all of you. So we really appreciate the involvement. Let Michelle speak, and then I'll jump back to the slide, Jordan.
It sounds good. I'm Michelle Funk. I'm located in Virginia. I'm the 3D data acquisition specialist, so I work closely with Brian in planning and tracking 3D projects. Other than that, it's a lot of GIS and information management. I think what we're most excited about this year is getting closer to completing nationwide 3D baseline coverage. And the challenge is keeping track of it all. And it was good to meet everyone.
Thank you, Michelle. And John and Lindsay, would you guys want to do a couple of brief intros, Phil, as well? That way we round out everyone. I don't want to leave anyone out.
Sure, I will jump in. Most of you know me, Lindsay Pena, the Director of Grant Administration for NSGIC. We are very happy to have Jordan here. And I am most happy of all that he's here with us today, because otherwise I'd be leading this today. And I did offer, but he wanted to make sure that he was here. So we're very happy to have him. And I'm very excited for his dedication towards this program.
Thank you, Lindsay. Congrats again, Jordan. Great addition to your family. You have a daughter too, correct?
I do, yeah. She's 15 months.
Yeah, when I was told I had a daughter, when I had my son, I was told I had the $1 million family. My question is, where is the $1 million? I could certainly use it with young kids, as I'm sure most of you know. Most of you know me. I met a lot of you at the mid-year and annual conferences over a year and a half. Brian, I had the pleasure of meeting you. Lindsay and I met and talked to you at the New Orleans annual conference. So good to see you on the phone today. So thank you all for your support, and we look forward and working with you in the near future. If I don't talk to you anytime soon, have a happy and healthy holiday season. Thank you, Jordan.
Hi, this is Phil Worrell, project engineer for the 3D hydrography program, and really happy that Jordan has come on board with 3DEP. I am still an avid user, obviously, of 3DEP data, and also actively involved in the state of Indiana with Sean on our future plans. So I'm really looking forward to being a participant in these meetings going forward. So thank you.
Great, thank you, everyone. I think that rounds everyone out. It's great to meet all of you. I really appreciate the insights and what you're working on, excited about, and the challenges that are coming up. We have Brian Alliance, so he's going to go provide the USGS update.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, as I mentioned before, we're gonna call it 94%. It's probably a little above 94%, but we're doing our final accounting on where we are. It's more complicated than folks might realize to try to come up with an actual statistic. Part of the complication is that medium green color that you guys see on the map there that represents the contributed data. We continue to have a challenge in that we do not have capacity inside USGS to validate the contributed data products. And so getting us to 100% complete isn't going to be possible until either one, we validate and can accept those contributed data sets, or we recollect them. And so Michelle and I have been working pretty diligently on trying to come up with strategies for how we can do that. As many of you are aware, our current budget situation is unknown, given that we are working off a continuing resolution. Generally means that my ability to do a lot of acquisition activities is hamstrung until we have an actual appropriation done. And so we're going to try to keep doing that. The hope is we can find a solution for 2% of the contributed data. Well, sorry, let me back up and say that the contributed data that you see on the map there represents about 4% of the nation. And we're hoping that we can come up with a solution for half of it this fiscal year and half of it next fiscal year. And then I'll just make a couple of other notes here before I jump on. Nate, we already have plans in place for California, so we're going to be able to fill that hole in Eastern California. And Jenna, we told you, we saw you in New Orleans. We have plans in place for Grand Canyon National Park, so we're going to be able to get that area in the northwestern part of Arizona taken care of. Still no solutions on the tribal area down in Apache lands, but we do have the Grand Canyon stuff getting ready to go. We are going to do Hancock and Adams counties in Illinois. Fill the one hole there on the western side and the contributed hole below it. New York, looking at the contributed area along the border there with New Hampshire. And so that's exciting. You get those done. We're going to keep looking at some things, some possibilities for some of the other contributed data sets. We maybe have a solution for Colorado and Kentucky and a couple of other areas. So we're going to keep working on that. With respect to the new data collaboration announcement for this year, so far we've received 14 proposals. We've accepted 7 of those proposals. The cooperative ones, there's a few more hoops that we need to navigate before we can start accepting the co-ops. It's a little bit more complicated of a process. Instead of taking money in, we're sending money out, and it's just a little bit more of a process. And so if you've got a co-op in and you're waiting, don't get discouraged. We're working through it. And so there's the potential for some more funds to support DCA. So if there's interest, certainly don't hesitate. We have really seen some good partnership opportunities this year. The cost shares have been very favorable, and between USGS and NRCS, we certainly are interested in a lot of these projects, and we'll keep the program, keep the DCA open. And until further notice, it'll be open till June 1st, like the BAA has been in recent years. Jordan's got a bullet here for the 3D NTM call for action, part 2 for 3DEP next gen, and we're getting very close to having the final version of that together. I think we're reviewing some of the last comments now, and so that document should be on the horizon here in the next couple of months. I'm guessing next couple of months, anyways. And so really lays out the strategy for the program. At this time last year, we were saying it was going to be a QL1 only program. Some large funding partners had some concerns that QL1 wasn't necessary in many cases for them. And so we did back off that. It'll be a QL2 or better program, but the USGS, who historically did not partner on QL1 with previous BAAs, we will partner on QL1 acquisitions moving forward with the DCA. So that's something that's new. We are really looking at our inland bathymetry program. continue to do pilots there. If that's something that you're interested in, please don't hesitate to talk to me or Cindy Thatcher. And I think we've got a couple of things in the works, but nothing hard and fast yet. But the Allegheny River in Pennsylvania is something we've been looking at, and there's starting to be some interest in some inland bathymetry and some topography work along some rivers up in Alaska. So that's a couple things we're looking at there. And then this last bullet, more frequent data refresh targets with increased quality levels. Yes, that is the goal of the program, to go to a 5-year refresh cycle. You know, I will say, going back to Jordan asking what's the biggest challenge, I guess from my opinion, funding is always the biggest challenge. It's you know, we'll see how it shakes out. The challenge for the program, I think, is that we've always sold the 3DEP program as finishing a baseline of high resolution elevation data for the nation. And now we're going to turn around and say, okay, now we need multi-temporal data. I think all of you on this call understand the value of that, but we're going to have to push that narrative, and we're going to have to get appropriations folks to understand why one static look at elevation is not sufficient for our needs. And we're going to do our best to get that narrative out there. And the nice thing is that our partners in industry, very good at telling the story, and they've been terrific partners. And I think between all of us that have a stake in this, you know, I really think deep down that we're going to be successful with this moving ahead. So happy to take any questions. That's sort of the update, and good to talk to everybody. It's been a little while.
Thank you, Brian. We do have a question from Sheena Beaverson from Illinois in the chat. Sheena, and sorry we missed your intro. If you want to do a quick intro and then address your question about Hancock County.
Sure thing. I apologize. I was late to the meeting. One of my other meetings today got scheduled for the same time at the last minute. So I've been the LiDAR data coordinator for the state of Illinois for a number of years. I worked on the first stages of the Illinois Clearinghouse back to 1997. And Janet Camarca and I are a little confused about Hancock County, Brian. So if you reach out to us some other time, not in public, that should be great. We should be able to get you the metadata and whatever, because that's news to us. It was acquired with other counties that look like they're accepted on your map. We know that Adams was contributed data, but the only problems with that was the file headers that we knew of. And I'm sorry, I'm getting over a cold. So if we can talk to you about those some other time, maybe we can help you out before you set new projects.
Sure. Yeah, I'll reach out to you guys. We have it as there's a problem with the DEMs, and I think there may be a couple of other things that are on our list. So I'll check in with you guys about it. One of them's contributed, and one of them we have no data for. And so I think
Adams is contributed, but Hancock should have QL2 plus or better, which is what NRCS Illinois likes. So 4 points per square meter rather than a QL2 type product. So we can talk. So
yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Great. Thank you for the update, Brian. Thank you for the intro, Sheena. So we'll keep on cruising along. Thank you for those who were able to fill out the project year objective survey. It's very helpful for us to understand how we can focus NSGIC efforts to effectively supporting states. So over here on the right, we just have a prioritized list of what you are working on, your highest priorities. And a lot of these came up in the challenges. So continuing the acquisition plan, looks like that's wrapped up for most folks. And then developing that data refresh plan is really top of mind. And then obviously the derived products. But I don't like just reading slides at folks. So I'm not going to go through that entire thing. If you have any specific questions, feel free to raise your hand and ask about them. but a few of the highlights I wanted to call out is the shift towards local storage. The majority of folks, almost 60% of respondents, indicated that they'd be looking into local storage and data management, and nobody said that they'd be looking into cloud storage, which was surprising to me, but that is something that we can absolutely talk about in terms of how do you architect those solutions, and what are the trade-offs. And then again, this developing tutorials, educational materials, getting guidance docs out there so that folks can use the data, you can distribute it more easily, and then build those cases for continuous and more reliable funding. I think that's a big one where we have on the top of our priority list to develop content around that to support you in those efforts. And then the engaging other agencies, right? I think it has always been surprising to me that GIS writ large is such a powerful technology, and it really drives almost every aspect of our life to some degree or another. But within organizations, it's often siloed into one department, with a few folks. But getting that data out there so that the entire state, all those agencies can use it, not only will that obviously help make the case for continued data refresh and funding, but it also allows you to receive that ROI on the investment, because as you all are well aware, it's not cheap to collect, process, and manage all of this data. One thing that was really shocking to me is there's a question about confidence in achieving this year's objectives. And there were quite a few respondents that were pretty low. I don't want to call anyone out, but hopefully that's something that we can work on and talk through. I would definitely like to make myself available if there's anything that NSGIC can do to help support you guys while you're working towards your objectives to get that confidence level a little higher. I'd love to hear from you if there's anything that we can do. So any questions about the project year objectives, comments, anything that you want to add? Okay, cool. The survey is still live. If you haven't had a chance to take it yet, there's a link in the reminder that went out earlier this week. It's also posted on the My NSGIC State Team interest group. And then I'll send this deck out and this is a hyperlink here. Probably send that out tomorrow or early next week, depending on how much sleep I get over the next few nights. And that way you can take that survey, any data, whether it's late or not, will help us. All right. And we are still working to finalize the NSGIC 3-Dep for the Nation projects plan. This is the document that outlines what our deliverables are, how we'll support the state team in achieving USGS 3-Dep objectives. A couple of highlights here. I'd really like to beef up the content that goes out. I know Linda and Phil have done a great job in the past, and I'd like to get into a regular blog cadence, social media, raise that awareness. I think, as all of you mentioned, funding and getting information out there to let people know that this data is available and how they can use it is a huge aid to actually getting your objectives done. So we'd like to put content out there to help you with that. And then really looking forward to that NTM call to action, so we can firm up some of the ideas and support there, clarify anything, and just produce supporting material that can help states align initiatives with that document. And then a big one is proactive outreach to allied communities, including tribal nations, so that we can, maybe streamline those engagements a little more. And I'm more than open to feedback on how to go about that and how we can support you all in those efforts. Does anyone have any questions or input or things that you'd really like to see in our project plan? Okay, awesome. Great. Well, we'll keep putting stuff out. I think I have a blog scheduled for February, and I'd love to gather feedback. I mean, I have an idea of what's top of mind for you guys based off of your challenges and the survey results. But anything that you want to see in interest groups, blogs, posts, you know, my email is available. You can feel free to reach out. But I would like to solicit interest group and webinar topics, as well as volunteers. If anyone is interested in hosting a webinar or interest group meeting in 2024, you could reach out to me privately or volunteer here. You know, we'd love to hear about what you guys are excited about, interesting use cases, how you've overcome specific challenges, anything and everything 3DEP. Does anyone have something that's top of mind that you'd really like to put out there as, man, I can't wait to show people what we've been working on? Okay, I'll have to go back through the notes and reach out to you guys individually, because there's a lot of cool stuff going on, and I'd love to hear about it in a little more detail, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who are experiencing similar challenges or have similar goals, and would love to know how you went about your successful programs. There's nothing there. Just have one more slide, just a quick reminder on a couple of things coming up. So we do have an interest group meeting next week and a state team meeting on January 3rd. So I had originally sent out for the first Wednesday of every month, but this being so close to coming off that holiday, I'm wondering, do you think we need that meeting? Are we good just to go into February, give a little time to allow some information to build up? Okay, we've got nope. Does anyone feel strongly that we must meet January 3rd? Okay. February is good? Okay, great. All right, cool. Looks like most folks are dropping in the chat that February is good. That's great for me. Make sure we're good and prepared for the next one. Awesome. And then if you don't have it on your calendar already, the NSGIC mid-year meeting is March 24th through 28th in Arlington. That should be really fun and informative. So we've got that on there, and then I'll update this reminder from January 3rd to the February before I send this out. I think that's all I have today. I really appreciate everyone hopping on, sharing your success stories, your biggest challenges. And then Brian, thank you for your update in a ton of detail there. That's incredibly helpful. Does anyone else have any closing words or comments, feedback? All right, great. Well, we'll give you back some time, and really appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank
Jordan.
you, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Nate.
Thanks, Jordan. We'll get you that survey.